The mid-19th century Factory Acts improved conditions for a relatively small number of workers. Others improved their conditions by their own efforts, uniting to form trade unions. In the mid-19th century, Henry Broadhurst worked at the craft of stonemason. He was a member of the Stonemasons Society, the stonemasons' trade union.
I devoted my energies to committee work in the Stonemason Society. I proposed the establishment of a fund by which a small pension was to be granted to men who had been members of the union and were unable any longer to pursue the trade of mason. I then turned my attention to the question of allowances to the unemployed. I advocated a system of small weekly allowances to men out of employment. In the spring of 1872, the men engaged in the building trades agitated for a reduction in the working hours and an increase of 1 penny per hour in their wages. A conference was agreed upon, consisting of a committee of the Mason Society and an equal number of representatives of the Master Builders Association. After 2 meetings, the conference drew up the conditions for the resumption of work. An immediate advance of a halfpenny per hour and a reduction in the hours of work from 56.5 to 52.5 per week for 9 months in the year and to 47 in the remaining 3 months.
Henry Broadhurst gives a good picture of the role trade unions played in people's working lives.
A small pension was to be granted and a system of small weekly allowances.
Members paid subscriptions, money, into a fund. In return, that fund would pay them money when they had no work or could not work.
The men agitated for a reduction in the working hours.
The members of a trade union could act together to improve their working conditions and their wages. If the employer refused them, they could withdraw their labour and strike, as the stonemasons did successfully in 1872. But not all strikes were successful. In 1853, the cotton spinners of Preston returned to work after 40 weeks with no increase in their wages. Acts of Parliament and trade union activity improved conditions for certain groups of workers, but not for everyone. In the late